Good morning, all of you. Today we discuss about the basics of vibrations, basic of vibration, and we can derive equation of motion for a simple single degree of freedom system. So, in basic of vibrations, we already go through that vibration basics terms. So, in basic of vibration, any oscillating motion of system about equilibrium point we can consider as a vibration. So any oscillating motion of that particular system about equilibrium point is considered as a vibration. So simple example we can consider as a pendulum, simple pendulum which is oscillating about its equilibrium position towards the left and towards the right by excitation of a external force, Suppose pendulum in equilibrium position at vertical at center, and you displace that pendulum towards left or towards right, and then we release that pendulum, then that pendulum is oscillate about its mean position, and that motion is we can call as a vibration in that simple pendulum, which is a oscillatory motion about an equilibrium point. So oscillatory motion oscillatory motion or in vibration, there is a exchange of kinetic energy and potential energy. Suppose this pendulum is vibrating. Suppose this pendulum is vibrating from middle position, or this pendulum is shifted from middle position to the leftmost or rightmost position. Then there is a exchange between this kinetic energy to the potential energy. So in the middle stage, there is a maximum kinetic energy. In middle position, there is a maximum kinetic energy, and potential energy is a very low, very low, or it may be zero. But as soon as that pendulum reaches toward the extreme positions, either leftmost or either rightmost, that potential energy increases to maximum, and similarly that kinetic energy is reduced to zero at the extreme most positions, maybe right side or maybe left side. So there is an exchange between that kinetic energy and potential energy in that oscillating motion of particular body. So but that summation of that energy always remain constant. Summation of energy always remain constant. If you consider that summation of energy, kinetic energy and potential energy always remain constant at any position, we can consider at middle position or extremist position or any another position in between this, that summation of energy remain constant. So in oscillation or in vibration, there is an exchange of energy from kinetic energy to the potential energy and vice versa. So other examples of that vibrations we can consider as a shivering of leaves due to the wind force, earthquakes, or motion of that automobile on uneven road surfaces. So these are some day-to-day life examples which we observe in our day-to-day life. So we can now shift it towards the equation of motions. Now before this equation of motion, we go through the essential property required for the vibration. So when that system vibrate, any system vibrate, there are two basic parameters or properties required for that vibrations. These are nothing but mass and stiffness. So mass denoted by m and stiffness is denoted by k. So there are two parameters or two properties of that particular system we required for vibration. If any one property is absent, then vibration is not possible in that particular system or in that particular body. So mass and stiffness we required. So mass is nothing but a body matter. Body matter we can denote as m, and stiffness is the internal resistance offered to the deflection of that particular body due to the external excitation force. So stiffness is nothing but a internal resistance offered to the deflection of that particular system due to the external excitation forces. So it is denoted by K. So these two parameters required to vibrate a particular body. Any one absent or any one absence of parameter, that body cannot vibrate. So two parameters must be required: mass and the stiffness. So we can model any system. We can model any system in terms of mass and stiffness. To study that particular vibration in that body. So we can model that system mathematically in terms of mass and stiffness to study that system vibration. In terms of mass and stiffness. To model any system or any day-to-day life example, we can model into the simple vibrating system with the help of the mass and stiffness. Basic assumption for modeling of that system is nothing but mass should be considered as a point mass. We should consider as a point mass. If there are mass concentrated at different points for single degree of freedom system, we convert that masses which are distributed at different points as a equivalent mass, which represent effect of all the masses, in the system, and that equivalent mass we represent as a point mass while modeling of the system. Another one is the stiffness. So in that modeling we represent by means of spring. So in the modeling, that spring have only stiffness and doesn't have any mass. So these are the two major basic assumptions for modeling of particular system. And along with this, that material should be homogeneous in compositions. There is no impurity. In that metal composition of that particular body. So this is the again another also deflection of that spring. We deflate that spring by a certain amount. So deflection of that spring also in the linear region, or within elastic region, which are represented on the stress strain curve. If suppose that spring is displaced beyond this elastic region, then it considered in the non-linear zone, and that modeling of system which become some complex, which includes some non-linearity terms in that particular equation of motion. So here we, for simplicity or for simple single degree of freedom system, we consider as the deflection of spring in the elastic region, and then we can represent any system. Here we can represent as a spring and mass. So spring represent internal resistance offered to the deflection of that particular system, and mass is nothing but a body matter. Which is here represented as a point mass, and stiffness having no mass. So with this system is modeled like this. Now this system in equilibrium position have certain position. In equilibrium position have certain mean position. We discussed in the further slides. So to solve this or to describe the behavior of that particular system, we derive governing equations of that particular system. So governing equation or equation of motions are we can derive by 4 methods: by Newton's second law, by energy method, by Rayleigh method, or D'Alembert's method, or equilibrium method. So these governing equations or equation of motions, these describe the system behavior. In oscillatory motion. Or we can, another word we can say that this describes system then describe system, or it gives solution. It gives solution for that particular system. Gives solution for that particular system in terms of displacement, velocity, or acceleration. In terms of displacement, velocity, and acceleration. So we first move toward the first method. First method as a Newton's second law method. Newton's second law method. In this Newton's second law states that rate of change of momentum, which is equal to the summation of forces. Rate of change of momentum, which is equal to the summation of forces. First, we go through the how we go through the which forces which are applied on the mass. So in this on this mass, one weight is applied on the downward force. Weight force is applied on the downward force, and on the downward side, which is a mg, weight of mg on the downward side. Again, spring force kx, which is applied on the upward side. As we pull this mass on the downward side from this equilibrium position, so here it is equilibrium position. This upper line represents the equilibrium position. Below line is a deflection of that particular mass due to its own weight. So due to the own weight, that mass deflect from this equilibrium position by a distance dst, and due to this deflection, some opposite spring force is applied on this as a k dst. Opposing force is applied as a k dst, which is equal to the weight of that particular body, So when this mass is displaced by some amount dst, and that deflection is now compensated by upward spring force k dst, then that mass get a equilibrium position. And now from that equilibrium position, again that mass displaced below or in the lower direction, and then released. Once that mass is pulled downward and then released, that system oscillates. That mass oscillates about its equilibrium position, and in that case, another forces are represented as a mx double dot. Here that displacement is represented by x. The velocity, which is nothing but a time derivative of the displacement, d by dt of x, which is represented by x and superscript x dot, and acceleration is nothing but a d by dt square of x. So second derivative of displacement, which is represented as a x double dot. Displacement represented as x, velocity represented as x dot, and acceleration is represented by x double dot. So mx double dot is nothing but a mass into acceleration, which is a acceleration force. Now here that two forces are represented. One is upward direction and another one is downward direction. So we consider motion of that mass on the downward direction. So on the downward direction, this arrow shows that acceleration force, and of the same amount of force, acceleration force, one inertia force is also applied in the opposite direction, having same magnitude mx double dot. When we put this rate of change of momentum mx double dot is equal to summation of forces. So summation of forces, here only one force is now remaining out of these four forces. K delta st, k dst and weight force are nullify each other, so two forces are gone and two forces are remaining, mx double dot and kx. So mx double dot in the downward direction we consider as positive, so kx in the upward direction, so it we consider negative. So it is written as a mx double dot is equal to minus kx, or in another word we can write as a mx double dot plus kx is equal to 0. So this is nothing but a equation of motion or governing equation of that particular system.